Roughly 2,300 years ago, the Indian subcontinent was highly fractured, split into dozens of divided states. The clear exception was the Kingdom of Magadha. Under King Dhanananda, this state swallowed its neighbors to become the dominant superpower of the era. Looking at this ancient silver punch-marked coin, we see the stamped symbols that represented the kingdom's standardized, immense wealth. Dhanananda's treasuries were overflowing with silver and gold. But that treasury was built on the backs of his own people. The citizens of Magadha were subjected to intense oppression, severe taxation, and daily cruelty from the crown. Living under this regime was a boy named Chandra Gupta. He possessed no royal blood, zero financial resources, and no standing army to speak of. Unlike other children playing games, Chandra Gupta spent his days kicking up dust in barren fields, obsessively practicing combat maneuvers with sticks. Born into a system that offered him nothing, this penniless child would eventually become the leader who dismantled India's most feared tyrant. His trajectory shifted when he met the renowned scholar Chanakya. Looking past the boy's poverty, Chanakya identified a rare combination of raw intellect and natural leadership. They began a grueling curriculum. Mornings meant heavy swordplay and combat. Afternoons covered the intricacies of diplomacy, and nights were spent mastering statecraft. When they finally launched their rebellion, they hit a wall. Their early campaigns against Magadha ended in severe defeat. They ran out of supplies, lost their few troops, and nearly starved in the forests. Instead of retreating, Chandragupta used these failures to refine his strategy. He traveled outward, using diplomacy to convince smaller, fractured border states to pool their resources and unite under a single banner. This makeshift coalition marched on Magadha. The resulting war dragged on for days. Through sheer tactical discipline, Chandragupta's forces crushed Dhanananda's massive military. Removing a tyrant leaves a massive vacuum. The test of a leader is whether they can build a functioning system in the rebel. Chandragupta immediately transitioned from warlord to administrator. He established strict protections for local farmers, invested heavily in trade routes, and built a vast network of roads connecting his new empire. This newfound stability was quickly tested. This dark bronze bust depicts Seleucus Nicator, a Greek ruler launching a massive invasion from the west. The Greeks marched in assuming an easy victory, but entirely underestimated Chandragupta's unified, heavily trained military. The invading forces were decisively beaten. The loss was severe, so Seleucus was forced into a treaty, surrendering vast territories and offering his daughter in marriage to secure peace. By defending his borders against a highly experienced foreign military, Chandragupta proved his initial rebellion was no fluke. He had constructed a globally recognized power. The lion capital, seen here, serves as the physical proof of the Mauryan Empire he established, a state that brought widespread wealth and security to the Indian subcontinent. Yet, after achieving unrivaled power, Chandragupta made a highly unusual decision. He voluntarily stepped down and handed the entire throne to his son. Looking at this wide view of an isolated rocky hill in Shravanabelagola, we see the environment he chose next. He left his royal luxuries behind, walked into the wilderness, and spent his final days pursuing deep spiritual peace and self-mastery. Greatness is built through intense discipline, resilience in the face of failure, and the humility to accept harsh mentorship. It is never simply handed down by birthright. If a boy who owned literally nothing can restructure an entire civilization, anyone with unwavering resolve can take control of their own trajectory.